So once we have a couple of people, I would request everybody to have their cameras on. Is there somebody else waiting? Or yes,
No, no, there's no one else in the waiting room.
Let's wait for another couple of minutes.
Yeah, we're still to hit 4, and we'll give a few
Yeah,
more minutes past 4.
yeah. I think some of them, it must be a working day for them. So probably, I'm sure it's a working day for y'all also. I'm so glad that you'll join.
Yeah, we are able to manage our session, plan it accordingly, because it is every Friday the session is there. So most of the people who join regularly make time for it.
Right. Hi, Jyotri. Hi, Pallavi Bhabhi.
Hi.
Hi. Glad to see you all.
Same here.
Just waiting for a couple of minutes more. Let's see how many people join in, and then I will start. Hi, Mamta.
Gunjan, would you want to take this? So we'll wait for till 4-5, if that's all right, Almas, by you.
Yeah, it's okay with me if the participants are okay to wait.
Yes, I think we should wait for a couple of minutes, like till 4-5.
Sure. Another 3 minutes more.
Yeah. Else I can start. Like
No, we can wait for 3 minutes more.
I think we are past 4, 5.
Yeah.
So, Gunjan, what do you want to see, Gunjan? Do you want to take this forward?
Yeah, we
Yes.
can start. Yes, we can
Yeah.
start.
So, good evening, everyone. I am CA Gunjan Jain. I am having 7 years of experience. Currently, I am a partner in a CA firm, a certified soft skills trainer, and also a content creator. So, with so much excitement, with so much energy, I would like to invite Poonam Pathak for the opening remarks. So, Poonam Pathak is also a great chartered accountant. She is having 8 years of experience in finance, tax, law, and she is a managing committee member of the N of ICI branch, Navi Mumbai branch. So, over to you, Poonam, for the opening remarks.
Thank you so much, Gunjan. And I welcome on behalf of our founder, Kalpana. I welcome everyone on our 45th. Am I audible? There is some network issue.
We lost you in between.
Yeah, you're
Yes.
audible now, but your screen is a little upside down. So if it will
Okay,
Yeah,
be.
okay.
and you're appearing
Yeah.
horizontal.
Okay, just a minute. Now
Yeah,
it's fine?
yeah, yes, yes.
Yes. So our founder, Kalpana, she is attending but not able to communicate on her behalf. I welcome all of you in today's 45th webinar of Friday Fleet. So what we have that a vision that all the females, not only professionals, but any female who want to do something, who wants to achieve something, can be benefited from this platform. And we are very happy that today we are on the 45th session. Also today's topic is about communication. So when like I was reading a book, I want to understand more how we can learn better communication. And also there is a quote that when you are good at communicating, then it's your asset, like in your professional life, in your personal life, whatever relationships you have, it will be helpful for you. But if you are not good at it, you will try to escape from the public speaking or maybe other communications, or talking to strangers. So then it becomes a liability for you. Then you just want to save yourself. So are you are not supposed to face those situations. So every females, like we sometimes, like we feels like at the professional front we are not at that good at like communicating or business part, like not that business mind. So today we can learn from our speaker Almas how we can communicate our feelings, and how we can get benefited from that. So that is all from my side. Happy learning everyone, and thank you so much for Almas for this session. Thank you so much. Over to you,
Thank
Gunjan.
Yeah. So Simon Sinek wisely said that communication is not about speaking what we think. Communication is not about speaking what we think. Communication is about ensuring others hear what we mean. This is so strange. Whether it's a heartfelt communication or a high stake professional moment, it's not just what you say, but how you say it that leaves a lasting impression. But it is so confusing. For this, to clear this confusion, we are here in this session because today's speaker will help us explore the art of communication, influence, and her presence ensuring that every word truly resonates. With the background in marketing, Almas has held leadership roles, including Vice President of Marketing at RBL Bank and Vibgyor Group of Schools. Her journey has been one of growth, learning, and transformation, both for herself and those she mentors. As a vocal and mindset coach and the founder of Butterfly Evolution, she helps individuals and teams using her PEA model, which means perceptions, emotions, and attitude, and conscious creativity methods. Her approach is all about bridging the gap between where you are and where you want to be. And our session is also all about vocal empowerment, vocal communication, where we are and where we want to be. And everybody want to be heard in our life, whether it's personal or professional. And we are here to learn all the secret insights from our speaker, Almas. So I'm so excited to welcome you, Almas. Over to you and take this session forward.
Thank you so much, Gunjan, Poonam, Sunita, and all you lovely people at Friday Fleet for giving me this opportunity. I'm so glad to be here today. And I'm happy that so many of you have taken time out to be here to listen to me, to understand what is vocal empowerment all about. Uh, I would want you to type clear in the chat box if you can see me and hear me clearly. I want everybody's camera to please be on. In case you are traveling or you are in some other place where it is not convenient for you, I understand. But for maximum participation, if you can have your cameras on and be a participative group. Thanks, Alka. Thanks, Poonam. Thanks, everybody, for confirming that. Okay, so my introduction was already given. In the last 1.5 years, I have been in the professional and personal development training and facilitating space. Prior to that, like Poonam mentioned, I was into the corporate world. I have worked with the Taj Group for 11 years in multiple roles. I have worked with ICICI Bank. I have worked with RBL Bank. I worked with your group of schools, mostly in the last 12, 13 years as the head of brand and communications marketing. Now, in the last a year and a half, I am into the space of designing my own curriculum and taking empowerment and training sessions for different groups of people. I found my calling here in, coaching and teaching. Why vocal communication and how vocal communication and mindset go together? Now, what do we mean when we hear the word communication? What is it that comes to our mind? What do we understand? कि communication क्या है? I'll be going in Hindi and English both because I believe the crowd over here is a mixed crowd. Okay, so a little bit of Hindi, more of English. If anybody has any issue with not being clear with what I'm saying or wants me to repeat something or has any doubts, I would request you to park the question. If it is a question, park it and we will take it in the Q&A section at the end of the session. If it is a pressing issue where you cannot understand what I'm saying or there is non-clarity, if my screen is not appearing or if you need to interject me, please raise your hands and raise your question. So, coming to the point of communication, what do we mean by communication? Would anybody of you or who would like to answer this for me, please? What is communication according to you? Yes. Anybody? Come on, I know it's a Saturday, I mean, it's a Friday afternoon. People are looking forward to Saturday, Sunday, Friday. Mostly the energy goes down. Okay, we are waiting for the weekend. We want to rest. We want to be with our families. But yeah, let us take this one and a half hours just to interact with each other, communicate with each other. Right? Kalpana says communication is exchange of thoughts. Correct? What else? जब हम वर्ड सुनते हैं कम्युनिकेशन तो हमारे दिमाग में क्या आता है? What is communication?
Communication is simply that what is in our mind is to be exactly interpreted by the other person when we send the message with the same thought, that the person is receiving the message with the same interpretation or the same thought.
Yeah, so communication is telling our thoughts, our ideas to somebody else with the intention that that person understands what we are trying to communicate, what we are trying to say, trying to decipher from the words that we are saying what we are saying, right? But what are the common issues that sometimes we face when communicating? Whether it is in our office space when we are talking to our clients or our juniors, our team members, या फिर हमारे घर पे when we are communicating with our spouses, with our children, with our kamwali bais or whatever, whoever. Okay, so communication is about talking with words, talking with, our voice. Communication also means the written words on paper, what we write. Okay, there are many of us who are on social media, who write on social media. They mean to say something, they write something, but the way it is deciphered. What is the common problem that sometimes we face in our
Ambiguity.
communication? Yes, Sunita?
Ambiguity. You're not clear. You're ambiguous in the communication. You're
You
not
are
clear.
ambiguous. Right. Shirin says communication is sending and receiving messages. Yes. Gunjan says it's our thoughts. If our thoughts are not clear, we don't communicate clear. Exactly what Sunita, somewhat what Sunita says, if we are sounding ambiguous in what we are talking. Okay. So, what do you think? Why do you think this happens? Why do you think that people, though we are clear in what we want to communicate, maybe sometimes our thoughts are not clear, but most of the time we feel that our thoughts are clear, we are talking in a logical manner, but still we are not sure whether our listener, our target audience is able to understand and decipher what we are trying to tell them. Why do you think this happens? Yes, anybody? There is no right and wrong here, friends. I mean, we're just talking. So please be free to just speak what comes to your mind. Jasuda, Anita.
There are multiple reasons, and sometimes, like as somebody mentioned, barriers, maybe language barrier, sometimes age barriers, sometimes different kind of barriers. Sometimes we think that it's a barrier, but maybe actually it's not a barrier.
Right.
intention, our mood. Because if our mood is different, then maybe we are communicating in a different tone, different pitch. So there are multiple reasons of
Multiple reasons.
not
Yes.
communicating.
Yes, very true. Very rightly put. Okay. So maybe, whatever we are talking, when we talk, we have a set of words, a vocabulary that we are familiar with. Okay. Whatever we've learned from our school days, since our childhood, at our homes, in our schooling, in our college, in our workspace, our communication is built with that vocabulary. Okay. So maybe one particular concept that we understand from a vocabulary is not the same manner in which the other person understands. So words are important, phrases are important, but are we using the language that others are also conversant with? For example, most of y'all on this group are chartered accountants, CAs, correct? Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're maybe knowing certain concepts theoretically. Here you are with a client who does not understand those jargons. Are you able to communicate in your audit report or during your meeting or during your client, meeting, things in a language with the words and with the vocabulary that your client is familiar with? Like, it was shared that there are multiple reasons for us not being clear. Maybe we are using the right words, we are using the right phrases, but somewhere घर पे हम झगड़ा करके आए हैं, and here we are sitting in a meeting and we are trying to convey something, we're trying to convey a point and our client is feeling as if we are overpowering the client. We are sitting with a group of people from our team and we are trying to explain to them that we want to work on a certain concept. This is, this is the client, this is the expectation, we need to work on this. We are using the right vocabulary, but the emotions with which we are talking are so overpowering that we are not able to convey the right message. Okay. Now, in all of this, these are some of the common, issues that we all sometimes or many of us face. Some of the time, some of us face, or some of us do not. Some of the issues are like, I am not an effective communicator. Why? Because somebody told me कि आप बहुत मोनोटोनस बात करते हो, एक ही स्टाइल में बात करते हो, कुछ समझ में नहीं आता है. मैंने पूरा राम कहानी बोल दिया, and then the person is asking me, लेकिन what were you trying to tell me? I didn't understand. Or we realized that I wanted to tell this incident to my sister. I was waiting to meet her and tell her this incident, and I went on speaking. At the end of it, she was like, Lekin, exactly what are you trying to tell me? Many a times, we let our emotions overpower our communication. Okay? Some of us have this issue of not able to pronounce words properly, not able to have proper intonations. हम कुछ बात कर रहे होते हैं, and towards the end of the sentences, कहीं ना कहीं हम word खा जाते हैं. मतलब हमने तो बोला लेकिन सामने वाले को सुना ही नहीं पड़ा. ओके. हमने बोलना चाहा कि ओ भाई समथिंग हैपेंड विद यू एंड आई एम सो सैड दैट दिस हैपेंड विद यू. आई वांटेड टू एक्चुअली बी एम्पैथेटिक टुवर्ड्स somebody, but the listener thought that I am mocking that person. Does it happen to us? Does these kind of situations arise? आप बड़ाई मारने के लिए बोल रहे हो. हमारा इंटेंशन ये था कि हम किसी के दुख में उसकी दुख को कम करे या उसको अंडरस्टैंडिंग कि समथिंग हैपेंड विद यू, आई एम सो सॉरी. लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल, इफ समबडी buys a new car और सडनली सेम डे पे रोड पे जाके वो कार कहीं टकरा जाती है, उस पर डेंट आ जाता है, एंड इफ यू आर टेलिंग दैट पर्सन, oh, your car hit, it's already. Now what I meant to say is like, I'm sorry that your new car suffered this hit and now you'll have to take it for insurance, and maybe the words that I'm using are correct, but the expressions that I'm having on my face, the emotions with which I'm talking are not matching what I'm saying. Am I making sense? Please let me know if I'm too fast or, not clear about what I'm talking so that then I can change my style.
No, we're
Is
perfectly
it
clear.
okay? Yeah. Okay. So these are some of the issues, common challenges that we all face, whether it is, in our meeting rooms, in our presentations, or in our house. Okay. At home also, sometimes something as simple as somebody asks us, "Have you made a cup of tea?" And we snap around and say, "Why should I be making the tea?" It's like we were not angry at that incident. We were not trying to say something about that particular moment. But because there is so much of internal dialogue that carries on, there is so much of emotional baggages that we carry, that the manner in which we say certain things are misunderstood. Okay. So when it comes to communication, whether it is written communication, whether it is vocal communication, we are always under this radar of, are we communicating effectively? Are we being understood? Especially when things don't go right. Like I walk into a meeting room, I have the best of presentation ready. I'm here, I have rehearsed, I have done everything. But somewhere I wanted, after the presentation, I wanted an approval from my seniors on this project that I was proposing. To find that after the meeting, everybody has a blank face and I don't know where to go next. Now, why does this happen? Okay. The best of presentation, PowerPoint hai, aaj, to help us, there is Canva, best of, all the text. I myself am educated enough. I do all my research. I have all my findings ready. I have, spilled out, I vomited out all the information that I could manage to gather during the meeting. But somehow, the approval that was much required after the meeting, I did not get. Why do you think this happens? Okay. In any communication, whether it is a personal communication or a professional communication, we have three parties involved, three main people or three main things, three main factors that are involved. That's called the communication loop. One is the speaker, one is your target audience, the listener, and one is the content, what you're speaking. Okay. So the speaker, the listener, and the content. The speaker ensures or needs to ensure that he matches the vocabulary and the style and the pace that the listener is able to understand, grasp. The speaker needs to ensure that the content that he is or she is speaking is concise, is clear, is relevant to the topic. The speaker needs to ensure that the pace with which the speaker is talking, it's not only in a logical manner, but it is also such that it is clearly understood that by talking, by giving out certain information, are you trying to educate the listener? Are you trying to give certain information to the listener? Or are you trying to seek certain approval? Okay. So it's a heavy duty on the speaker to ensure that uska content clear hai, uska thought process clear hai, and that person is able to express in words, through the emotions, through the voice clearly. Right? Now, what do you think is the most basic and fundamental require for one to be having a proper voice or to be communicating properly? What is the most important thing that one needs to have?
Clarity of speech and your body language.
Clarity of speech, body language, right? Yeah, but when you're speaking, what is that is required?
You
For
should
speaking, what
have
is required? Yeah?
Your tone,
your tone, and
your words, the content. Obviously, if you're talking about something, you should know something. You should be aware of what you're talking about and
yeah.
the words that you're using.
So subject matter expertise,
Yeah.
clarity of thought process. Okay, what you're talking, why you're talking, and what is this leading to. Okay, you should be clear about your sequence of your talk. But in your talking, when you're talking, what is the most important thing when you talk, when you verbally communicate?
Voice.
Voice. Yes. Yes. Your voice is very important. And for voicing, to have a proper voice, what is important?
Breathing, deep breathing. I think it's makes calm.
Yeah. Yeah. So we least pay interest, or we least pay, attention to how we are breathing. We think breathing to normal hai. I mean, it's like, available, oxygen is available anywhere, everywhere. We breathe, and that is why only we are alive. Not to realize that our talking also is affected by the way we are breathing. Okay. Most of us in our fast paced life, wherein we are doing multiple things at the same time, we are breathing shallow. When we are walking, you will realize with normal walking also, we are not able to talk. When you're climbing up the stairs, tab to bhool hi jao. You just cannot talk. When we are angry, you want to say a lot of things, but you just can't talk. Have you realized that when you're angry, when you're emotional, something affects your voice? You want to talk, but your voice becomes shrill. You want to scream at somebody. I remember having a boss every Tuesday. We used to have the sales call, and Tuesday morning, 10 to 12 o'clock on the floor, it used to be him screaming on top of his voice. I mean, he was a gentleman of 50 years of age with a nice, bold voice, but something would happen when he was angry, and his voice would become patla like a female. I mean, we used to all wait कि अब गुस्सा बॉस को चढ़ा and वो उनका पिच ऐसे हो जाएगा, टोन तो गुस्से में है, and suddenly he wants to say something, but the breathing is fast. Even we, when we get angry with our kids or in, office or whatever, our breathing becomes very shallow. Otherwise, also, I think we have forgotten to breathe from the diaphragm. We have forgotten to breathe from our, take full breath in and breathe out completely. But mind you, breathing is the most important thing when you want to improve how you sound. If you want to increase your vocal capacity, you need to ensure that you're breathing right. So we all know about the physical and physiological aspect and the anatomy of how voice is produced. We have done this in school, but I think it would be a good idea to just have a quick 4-minute recap of how sound is produced. Okay, so are we okay to watch a 4-minute video? Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's fine.
Okay, so let's quickly recap of how breathing affects our voice. Can you all see the screen? No, I think not.
How does the human body produce voice and speech?
You'll have to
Can
share
you
the
see the screen?
Yeah, now we can.
How does the human body produce voice and speech? Every day, many of us rely on voice and speech to communicate. Let's explore the processes of breathing, voicing, and speaking. What is voice? Your voice is as unique as your fingerprint. Voice or vocalization is the sound produced by humans and other vertebrates using the lungs and the vocal folds in the larynx. The larynx, sometimes called the voice box, is the primary organ of voice production. Voice and speech are not the same. An infant crying or an adult laughing are examples of vocalization or voice production. What is speech? People typically express thoughts, feelings, and ideas orally to one another through a series of complex movements that alter the basic tone created by voice into specific, identifiable sounds called speech. Before we get into more detail about how voice and speech are produced, let's explore how we breathe. The first step is taking air into the lungs. The large dome-shaped muscle called the diaphragm, which is located directly below the lungs, contracts and expands vertically, lifting the rib cage and allowing the lungs to fill with air. After the lungs bring oxygen into the body, they remove carbon dioxide through breathing out. When breathing out, the diaphragm and rib cage return to their resting positions, forcing the air out of the lungs. How do we produce voice? There are several parts of the body that play a role in voice production. Vocal folds are two bands of tissue that are positioned opposite each other in the larynx. The larynx is located between the base of the tongue and the top of the passageway to the lungs, known as the trachea. When you are not speaking, the vocal folds are open so that you can breathe. Voice is generated by airflow from the lungs. When it's time to speak, the pressure below the larynx increases until it blows the vocal folds apart.
Hello. Hello.
Vocal folds are first forced apart at the bottom, followed by the top, and air is forced through the very narrow opening. The opening between the vocal folds is called the glottis, which opens during breathing and narrows during voice production. The pressure forces the air through the vocal folds, which creates a suction as we exhale. This suction pulls the vocal folds together at the bottom, followed by the top. When the air from the lungs blows past the vocal folds at a high speed, the vocal folds vibrate. In order to produce typical loud speech, the vocal folds and larynx must vibrate normally. How do we produce speech? Speech is produced by precisely coordinated muscle actions in the head, throat, chest, mouth, nasal cavity, and abdomen. Speech development is a gradual process that requires years of practice. During this process, a child learns how to regulate these muscles to produce understandable speech. Different parts of our nose and mouth are carefully positioned to create speech sounds. We position the velum, tongue, jaw, and lips in reference to permanent parts of our vocal tract, such as the roof of our mouth.
Hello. Hello.
As you can see, the process of producing voice and speech is complex and plays an important role in our daily life. For more information on
Okay. So can you see my screen?
Not yet.
Sorry?
No.
No, right? One second. Can you all see the screen now? Am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Thank you for the confirmation. But if you all speak up, it will be better for me in situations like this. Am I
Yes.
is my yeah, okay. Thanks, Sunita. Thanks, Shivin. Okay, so we understood what we all already know, that how sound is produced. Okay, when we breathe in and out, the sound that is produced in our throat, in our voice box, okay, is different. It's a raw sound. But because of the articulators, now what are the articulators and the resonance chambers and all? That is our lips, our teeth, our tongue. The manner in which we structure our lips when we are talking. How wide we are opening our mouth, how we are keeping our lips pursed, how effectively are we using our jaws. All this defines how we sound. But most importantly, it is how we breathe. Are we breathing shallow only to take in, the breath into our lungs, or we are actually breathing through our diaphragm? Many a times we fall short of breath. हम कुछ पढ़ रहे हैं, and suddenly towards, the later part of it, after reading just 2, 3 sentences, we start finding it difficult to breathe. We start feeling tired. Even while having conversations with people, हम किसी से बात कर रहे हैं, and we are in an argument or in a normal conversation also, after seeing a few things, we realize that we are feeling tired. Now, that tiredness is because we are not breathing correct. If I'm not making proper pronunciations of the words that I'm talking, if my audience is not able to hear me, then it means that I'm not using the articulators and the resonators. My teeth, lip, tongue, palate have to move in a particular way to ensure that the words sound in that particular and the pronunciation is correct. Now I'm talking to all of you over this Zoom call. I'm talking at a particular pitch, at a particular volume. But imagine if I'm conducting the same session for 100 people in a classroom. It's an open classroom. Then I would definitely need to modulate my pitch to that. There are people who seem to be screaming, but still it is not clear at the end of the classroom what they are trying to say because their pitch is too high. Because they're breathing shallow, the pitch is high, they're talking through their throat. Okay? But if I want to be heard at the end of the classroom, I need to make sure that I am loud enough. My volume is high. Okay? All this happens by practicing correct breathing. So, talking or voice production is like, it's about managing a phone. There is a hardware and there is a software. So the hardware, this is, our lungs, our vocal organs, our abdomen, our nose, our mouth. All this is the hardware of how and from where the sound is produced. But is only the hardware important? If I want to say a particular thing, if I want to sound and be understood in a particular way, is only producing sound important? What else would be required?
Modulation, how you are talking, how the words are coming out, how you're managing the intensity of the words as well.
Correct. So managing your pitch, your tone, your volume, the intensity with which you're talking is required. But that again is your hardware. It's like, your switches on the old TV or the new TV also on the this thing also you see on your radio, the volume button or your frequency button. Okay? You are moving that button to ensure that you get the right FM channel. You're turning that switch to see to it that the volume is correct or not. So you're basically controlling the hardware. But what is the software also that is required to ensure what you're saying is understood by your audience? Like Poonam also said and very correctly put, Simon Sinek says that communication is just not about telling what you think, talking what you think, but it is about ensuring that what you're thinking, what you're trying to convey is understood by your audience. That is communication. Otherwise, it is just going to be blabber. You are saying a set of alphabets put into words, put into sentences. But if your audience does not understand what you're saying, then that is not communication. तो हार्डवेयर का हमने देखा कि हम first of all working on your breath, ensuring that you're breathing right, because your vocal cords move, जिसकी वजह से साउंड प्रोड्यूस होता है. एंड वोकल कॉर्ड्स तभी मूव होते हैं जब आप ब्रीथ करते हो. आप जितना ब्रीथ करते हो उस हिसाब से आपके वोकल कॉर्ड्स टाइटली या लूजली मूव होते हैं, और उसके हिसाब से आप ब्रीथ करते हो, उसके हिसाब से आवाज बाहर फेंकते हो. बट आप क्या बोल रहे हो उसको अगर आपको सुनने वाले को समझ देना है तो दो और चीजें हैं जो जरूरी है. ओके, वी स्पोक अबाउट द कम्युनिकेशन लूप, द लिसनर, द स्पीकर एंड द कंटेंट. ओके, नाउ द स्पीकर नीड्स टू एंश्योर कि वो जो भी बात कर रहा है उसको उसके माइंड में क्लियर हो why he's talking what he's talking. Okay, you are entering a meeting room, you should know why you're going for that meeting. Only then will you be able to participate, not only with your language, but you will be able to modulate your voice and your communication in the direction of that intent. So the why should be very clear, the objective of the communication. Abhi hum bhi, as y'all as participants and I as a speaker, if we are communicating, there is an intention. Currently, my intention is to whatever you already know about vocal communication, you all are 25, 30 plus, all doing good in your professional lives or your personal spaces, all having lived so many relationships, you all already know about communication. But still, there is an intention with which you have come here to attend this program. एक रीजन है. कुछ लोग शायद से आफ्टरनून में फ्री थे तो ज्वाइन कर लिया. कुछ लोगों का इंटेंशन ये था कि ओके ठीक है, हियर इज समबडी वी नो एंड वी वांट टू लिसन टू हाउ शी इज सेइंग व्हाट शी इज सेइंग, सो you're here. Some people are here to see ke, okay, in my professional life or in my personal life, I face a few challenges. And I want to see how this program can help me better myself, move to the next level. For me, my intention today for joining is, if I know of something and I am in this space, can I share this information with a group of people who would like to go to the next level? So one of educating, the other is definitely of upselling. The way I conduct a program, conduct this one session, maybe it will encourage some of you to join the program. So we do not do or say anything without intention. कोई objective के बिना हम कुछ नहीं करते. So the why is important. That is the intention. Okay, and the intention can be like you see on the screen. Whether we enter into a meeting room, whether we are taking a program for a training program for our colleagues, or we are conducting a meeting with our seniors, there is a particular intention with which we are communicating. The other important thing is factor is the emotion with which you are communicating. How you're communicating. Whatever you are saying, whatever the phrases, the words, the sentences, the information that you're using, how are you using that? So any communication is built with the answers for these three questions: the why, the what, and the how. Okay? Most of the times we feel, and we must have experienced, that we are very clear in our minds, on paper, in the presentation, of what we want to communicate. क्या बोलना है हमको हमको पता है, लेकिन वो क्यों बोलना है वो भी पता है, कैसे बोलना है उसमें कहीं ना कहीं हम चूक जाते हैं. And then the result is that the why and the what completely gets lost. The why is not understood by the audience at all, because the manner in which we are communicating, the how, our emotions are so overpowering that the communication is not complete in its true sense. Am I making sense? Yeah.
Yes.
Emotion basically is the soul of the communication. Okay. And what defines your emotion? What defines the soul of the communication? दो लोग जब बात कर रहे होते हैं तो हमारा ध्यान टोटली उनकी बातों पर जाता है, एंड मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम्स वो क्या बात कर रहे हैं उस पर बाद में जाता है, लेकिन वो किस तरह से बात कर रहे हैं, वो जोर से बात कर रहे हैं, गुस्से में बात कर रहे हैं, उनका पिच कैसा है, उनका टोन कैसा है, इन सब चीजों पे हमारा ध्यान पहले जाता है. और अगर हम लिसनर है, तो देन वी वांट टू मेक श्योर कि जो वो पर्सन हमको बोलना चाह रहा है, इज दैट पर्सन clearly talking about what that person is saying? Is that person talking fast? Is that person talking in a pitch that I don't want to listen to the next sentence at all? It happens with us. Sometimes we are listening to a podcast and in a couple of seconds we switch it off. It must be the best topic. हमको उस टॉपिक के बारे में सुनना अच्छा लगता है, लेकिन जैसे ही वो बोलना शुरू करता है वो पर्सन, 1 मिनट के ऊपर हम सुन नहीं पाते, बिकॉज जिस तरह से वो बोल रहा है, instead of sounding voice to our ears, it's sounding as chaos. Okay. Now, in all this, if we have to manage the soul of the communication, then we need to make sure that we are managing the pitch, tone, and volume. And if we have to manage the pitch, tone, volume, the pace, we need to first make sure that we manage our breath, how we are breathing. Okay. When it comes to emotion, now any character, आप एक मूवी देख रहे हैं या स्टोरी पढ़ रहे हैं, any character, and we also, these are the 9 basic emotions that a human being goes through. And whether it is a meeting room, whether it is our own house, we all go through these emotions. So in every emotion, how do we sound? How do we portray that emotion? Suppose I give you a sentence. I want to go to Mumbai. Just simple 4 words. I want to go to Mumbai. 5 words. Okay. Now, if I tell that, Sunita, if you can say the sentence with love. Imagine that this is a romantic sentence and you want to say these 5 words in a romantic, in a loving way. How would you say that?
I want to go to Mumbai.
Okay. If anybody wants to try with, if you're angry, same set of words. Gunjan, would you like to try?
Yes. In anger. I want
Yeah.
to go to Mumbai. It's not
Can
this.
you try once more?
Yeah. I don't want to go. I want to go to Mumbai.
Very good. If somebody wants to say it peacefully, like I want to go to Mumbai, and somebody wants to say it peacefully, Mamta,
I want to go to Mumbai.
how many of us heard peace in her voice? Mamta, did you hear peace in your voice?
No.
What were you sounding like? You were
Maybe in fear, I said.
Okay. You said it in fear and you are defining yourself as, saying it in
Yes.
fear. When I was hearing it, I thought you were excited.
Yeah, there was a bit of excitement.
Yeah.
Yes.
So are you getting this? A simple sentence, same words, different emotions. Our pitch tone, when Gunjan said it, गुस्से में वो गुस्सा सुनाई पड़ा, वही वर्ड थे, लेकिन बिकॉज उसको वो गुस्से में बोलना था, उसका पिच और टोन और वॉल्यूम चेंज हुआ. Sunita said it in a loving tone. Did you all realize when you all were saying this also, there was something different about how it was sounding in your throat, how it was feeling in your throat? Sunita, Gunjan, Mamta, would you like to share?
I think my facial expressions also were, matching with the tone. So the facial
Yeah,
expression was also matching.
yeah, correct. What about you, Mamta?
Actually, I sounded excited, but like all of a sudden you called for my name. So I was a bit, in fear. Like immediately I had to unmute myself and then say.
Okay. I'm sorry for that, but yeah. But also this that we intend to say it in a particular way. Simple
Yes,
sentence,
yes,
okay? Lekin we are not able to. Can you, Mamta, now it's been enough time, so can you try once more
peacefully.
peacefully?
Okay. I want to visit Mumbai.
Okay. Can somebody share what they feel when they hear Mamta?
Excitement.
Sorry?
Excitement.
Excitement, yes.
And
Excitement. And I felt as if she's giving an information that she wants to visit, Mumbai.
yeah, in laughter,
Yeah,
like
correct.
because she's smiling a lot, so maybe this is laughter.
Yeah.
Or in peace, so should we not smile? Like, because it's very confusing between, love and peace. Like, smile karna
See, these are the 9 basic, emotions. Then there are all gradients between, everything. So there may be an overlap of how love and how, peace may sound. Now, if I say that I am conducting a meditation session, am I not conducting it in a loving way? Am I not conducting in a peaceful way? I want everybody to feel that calm, the peace, hear the sound of the waves. I want you to be happy. So I'm peaceful, I am loving, I am happy, but it's like, your sugar and salt and your spices. They are required in every dish that you cook. Without your sugar and salt or without your namak mirch, masala, कोई भी डिश प्रॉपर नहीं टेस्ट करने वाली है. बट कितना आप कौन सी डिश में ऐड करोगे वो वेरी करेगा. एम आई मेकिंग सेंस? किसमें आप मिर्च पाउडर ज्यादा डालते हो, किसमें धनिया पाउडर ज्यादा, किसमें हल्दी ज्यादा, नमक किसमें डालना है, शुगर डालना भी है लेकिन थोड़ा सा सॉल्ट भी डालना है. ओके, so there are different proportions in which you vary your emotions to be conveying the message that you want to convey in an appropriate manner. You getting me? Now, suppose if I want to say the same sentence, but in a very courageous way, how will I say it? How will I ensure that the proportion of the spices that I'm using here are correct? Chalo, people who are off camera, please. Anita, would you like to try, please? Anita Agarwal. I would request you all to, whoever is off camera, if possible, please come on camera. If not, also, I'm okay to just, have your vocal participation in the meeting. Anita, Jaisuda, Jyoti. No? Okay. Anybody else? I don't want to be sound reprimanding to people who are on camera.
Can try.
Yes, Shubham.
What is the Raj you want me to try?
The emotion is courage, and the sentence is, I want to go to Mumbai.
Okay. I want to go to Mumbai.
Okay. Suppose you are a freedom fighter and you're saying the sentence.
As a freedom fighter.
As a freedom
I
fighter.
want to go to Mumbai.
Yeah. Nice. You want to sound scary.
Scary.
Yeah. You want somebody to feel scared by the manner in which you are saying the sentence.
I want others to feel scared, not
You
me.
want others to feel scared. Yeah.
I'm going to Mumbai.
Yeah.
I'm going
And
to
if you
Mumbai.
And if you are feeling scared when you're saying the sentence,
Scared. I'm going to Mumbai.
Are we understanding how? Thanks, Shirin. Thanks for that. Are we understanding how the same set of words, our pitch, tone, volume is changing? Intention clear हो रहा है कि हमको क्यों बोलना है, because I am giving a cue. I'm giving a cue कि कौन सा emotion आपको emote करना है. Okay, and that is why you're regulating your tone, pitch, volume to match the cue. But many a times in real life and in the meeting rooms, we are not able to match the words to the emotions to the intentions. And that is where all the goof up happens. Okay? There are rifts in relationships. There are fallouts in meeting rooms between two teams. Or the bosses fail, instead of acknowledging the efforts, sound as if they are reprimanding their team. And we all, I'm sure, must have faced one or the other things in our personal or professional life. Okay? So emotion, intention, and action. Everything is important. If I want my voice output, whether it is in a personal space or in a professional space, as a human being, if I want to work on my voice output, a good voice output, what all I do need to work on. First of all, breathing correct. So breathing तो हम रोज normally कर रहे हैं, लेकिन are we doing diaphragmatic breathing? When we get angry, most of us must have gone through a lot of these Insta reels and these ज्ञान videos and all, कि अगर गुस्सा आता है 2 मिनट आप शांत हो जाओ और सिर्फ breathe करो. Okay, do your box breathing. 4 counts breath in, hold for the count of 4. 4 counts breath out, hold for the count of 4. Whenever you feel angry and you want to say something, just for a couple of seconds do this, and then say whatever you want to say. It will definitely impact what you're going to say. Okay? Diaphragmatic breathing, taking inhalations absolutely through your nose, completely through your lungs, into your abdomen, and then breathing out. That's called diaphragmatic breathing, breathing out through your mouth. If you practice diaphragmatic breathing on a daily basis, it will not only impact how you start feeling on your emotional level, but also how you start sounding, how it impacts your voice. Okay? Then comes your articulation and diction. आप जो भी पढ़ रहे हो, जो भी बोल रहे हो, are you using the correct pronunciations? Are you using the proper words? Are you being able to convey what you're thinking in the words and through the words? Okay? Are you pronouncing? Is your diction clear? If I'm saying certain words, but if I'm not opening my mouth and saying it, when I keep saying like this only, will you be able to understand what I'm saying? So I am using, I mean, if I have to make sure that my diction is clear, I need to use my vocal organs, my articulators in a certain way. I need to be speaking clearly. Every word is made up of vowels and consonants. Okay. So if I need to make sure that the word is properly pronounced, I need to make sure that I use the vowels and consonants in a proper way while I'm speaking. Okay. Your vocal resonance and amplification. How does your sound, how does your voice sound full? Okay. When you're breathing, there is a raw voice that is produced in your vocal cords. But when that voice comes out and then hits your mouth or your nostril, and then when the breath comes out of your nose or your mouth, and that sound which is produced, okay, is the final sound of the word. Are you clear? Are you, like I said, are you opening your mouth where it is required? How much it is required? Or are you talking with a closed mouth? Okay. Are you standing in front of a crowd, but even the people standing in the first row are not able to hear what you're saying? Is your pitch and your intonation correct? Now, I have said something and the people are still listening. That means my intonations. What is intonations? When I am speaking, I should give proper signals to my listener that, okay, ye end of the sentence hai. Ye end of the word hai. Now the next sentence is starting. All this, when you start reading aloud every day, we all definitely must be reading something or the other. कुछ ना कुछ तो हम पढ़ रहे होते, कुछ नहीं तो हम फोन उठा के व्हाट्सएप मैसेजेस है, फॉरवर्ड है, वो सब पढ़ते हैं. But most of the times we are reading it in our minds. And in our minds we are very clear. We are expressing also very clearly. हम कोई अगर स्टोरी भी पढ़ रहे हैं मोबाइल पे, हमको लगता है कि हम प्रॉपरली उसके सारे इमोशंस के साथ उसको पढ़ रहे हैं. But try this, my friends. Tomorrow, when you read something, pick up a story. Try to read just 2 pages aloud. One, you will find it difficult because you're not used to reading it aloud. When you're reading it in your mind, you're not breathing. You're breathing only you're breathing. But when you're talking aloud, you're using your breath, you're using that oxygen for breathing, for staying alive, and also for talking. So you will find that ब्रीदिंग आपका शैलो हो रहा है, आपको थकावट महसूस हो रही है, आप जिस तरह से एक्सप्रेस करने की कोशिश करते हैं, सपोज इट इज अ रोमांटिक स्टोरी, व्हेन यू वर रीडिंग इट इन योर माइंड तो आपको बड़ा रोमांस उसमें समझ में आ रहा था, बट जैसे ही आपने जोर से पढ़ना शुरू किया, अरे ये डायलॉग तो मुझसे बोला ही नहीं जा रहा है. Okay? All this also happens in our meeting room. When we are having a presentation with a client, with a senior, what we do is we make PPTs on PowerPoint, we make PPTs on Canva, we do stuff, but we do not rehearse it loudly. Suddenly to realize that once we enter the meeting room, a couple of things happen. थोड़ा चीजें हम भूल जाते हैं, थोड़ी चीजें हम बोलते कुछ है और सामने वाले को समझ में नहीं आता है. And because now I am conducting the session or the meeting for, I have to be conducting for an hour, I'm not used to speaking loudly for an hour. तो बीच में 10, 15, 20 मिनट के बाद मेरा आवाज स्लो हो जाता है और कहीं ना कहीं मेरा ऑडियंस सो जाता है. It happens in meeting and Mamta is laughing. So we all have experiences, right? Either as participants or as speakers. अरे मैंने इतना प्रिपेयर किया है प्रेजेंटेशन के लिए और जो टीम वहां बैठी है वो सुन नहीं रहे, वो आपस में बात कर रहे हैं या चाय बिस्किट में मशगूल हैं या सो गए. Okay, yeah, I'm attending a meeting, but that speaker is not so expressive. वो सिर्फ मोनोटोन में बोला जा रहा है, बोला जा रहा है, बोला जा रहा है, और मुझे कुछ समझ में आफ्टर 10 minutes my literally my situation is like पक गया, अब बस कर. Okay, whenever we are talking we need to ensure that we are expressing clearly by modulating our voice. Okay, on top of all of this we need to also take care of our vocal health. We take care of our bodies. We try to go to the gym, do yoga, do walking. We eat a proper meal. But do we take care of our vocal health? Okay. Drinking enough water, not doing bar bar. People feel bad, by coughing like this, throat clear hota hai. Nahi. Throat mein kharash aur hogi. So, are you maintaining proper vocal hygiene or not? All this is very, very important. But besides all of this, okay, which is going to impact how I'm going to be talking, am I taking care of what am I feeling? What are my emotions? What am I going through internally? Okay. In my introduction, we spoke about a program that I do, that is the PEA, that talks about perceptions, emotions, and attitude. Okay. Now, we as human beings go through life's experiences and perceive everything that happens to us and happens through us in a particular way. And we give a particular definition to it. Now, put in any situations, we react in a certain way, depending on how we perceive it. कुछ जैसे हमने दूसरे एग्जाम्पल में भी लिया था, घर पे झगड़ा हुआ. So I have had a fight with somebody at home. I'm in an emotional state of turmoil. And here I enter a meeting room to conduct a session. I'm taking a session. And one of my colleagues, by mistake, his pen falls down. And he's just picking up that pen. And my outburst will be, can't you pay attention? Is my reaction to this particular action which happened now? Or is it something to do with how I am feeling? So this is a reaction. But in our normal talking also, are we talking being present in this moment? Or are we talking with the baggage of our emotions which have happened pehle, before the conversation started? And how we are feeling? So managing our emotions are very, very important. So to sum it all up, one, that whenever I'm communicating, I need to make sure that my intentions, I'm clear about my intentions. I need to make sure that the content, what I'm talking, am I clear about the content that I'm delivering? My content is matching the intention with which I'm making the delivery of this particular speech or this particular conversation that I'm having. And are my emotions matching? Okay. If we have time, I would like to do a few exercises. It's already 5:13, 5:14.
I think if the audience is willing to stretch for 10 minutes, we can do
If
that. Maybe
nothing
a
else,
couple.
if nothing else, I would at least like, for a few minutes to practice some tongue twisters. Okay. Now, tongue twisters are very funny, but very important for vocal delivery. Breathing, we saw diaphragmatic breathing is very important. Okay. Others who do yoga, your pranayams, Anulom, Vilom, Bhastrika, Kapalbhati, all this practice on a daily basis, it is not only important for your physical and mental health, but it also impacts on how you talk. Okay. reading aloud. I would urge every one of you, if you want to be good communicators in your personal relationships, in your boardrooms, with your clients, with your peers, practice reading aloud. Anything, pick up any book, but read aloud 2 to 5 pages every day. Make sure when you're reading, at times, you read it slowly, read every word, stretch every word. You will realize that you're opening and closing your mouth in a particular fashion. Now, these are all some simple exercises. Like your body needs exercise, your vocal organs also need exercises. So, breathing is exercise for your lungs and your diaphragm and your throat. For your articulators, we can do some simple breathing. Chalo, for 1 minute, if you all can stick out your tongues, जितना लंबा जुबान निकाल सकते हो, जितना लंबा जुबान निकाल सकते हो, try to touch your tongue to the tip of your nose. Try to touch your tongue to the tip of your nose. Then try to touch your tongue to your chin. Stretch it as much as possible. I know it's not everybody can touch, on the tip of your toe, of your nose or your chin, but try. Now move your tongue left, right, left, right, left, right, up, down, up, down, up, down. Now the same thing, close your mouth and your lips, your tongue inside your mouth. Try rolling your tongue clockwise and anti-clockwise inside your mouth. Close your mouth and try rolling your tongues inside of your mouth. These are good exercises for your tongue muscles. Okay? Now take your hand behind your ears, where your lower jaw ends, the bone. Okay? Try to massage that clockwise and anti-clockwise. ये सारा कुछ योगा में भी है, ये सारा कुछ दूसरी एक्सरसाइजेस में भी करवाते हैं. These are very good exercises for your jaw. Now with the same hand on the upper part of the jaw, clockwise, anti-clockwise, your jaw. Try to make the sound with just as if air is passing through your front two teeth. The या स का sound. ज जैसा तितली में करते हैं. If people भी होगा तो तितली में भी जैसा करते हैं. Tongue touch your front teeth. हवा पास हो रही है आपके फ्रंट के दो. Okay. We do Brahmari in yoga. Okay. Brahmari is again a good vocal warm-up. If you want to practice your pitch and all, the sound of oo or e like a siren. Woo, 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 woo. You see, I'm pouting the lips. Okay? Woo, 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 woo. Similarly, E, 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 E. These are all vocal warm-ups. Okay? Let's go to tongue twisters. Chalo, who wants to try? Come on. I'm not getting late. You all are getting late. Sunita would like to try? Okay.
Yeah.
Sunita, Hindi or English? I have Hindi and
English.
Okay.
So I have to say all of them at a go or just one?
Just say the second one.
He threw 3 free throws. He threw 3
Fast.
free throws.
Fast.
He threw 3 free throws. He threw 3 free throws. He threw 3 free throws. He threw 3 free throws.
That's it. Next one.
She, she, she sells seashells by the seashore. It's an old one. I used to do it as kids.
Yeah, but we're still not.
Yeah. She sells seashells by the seashore. She sells seashells by the seashore.
Sunita, you can try a Hindi one also. I leave it to you. Anyone.
दुबई में डूबे दूध पी के डूब गया. दुबई में डूबे दूध पी के डूब गया. दुबई
Fast.
में डूबे दूध पी के डूब गया. दुबई में डूबे दूध पी के डूब गया.
So you all must be thinking, what has, tongue twisters to do with reading and with vocal communication and all? Like I said, once you start reading aloud, you will find it very difficult initially if you're not used to reading. But once you start practicing your tongue twisters loudly, again, not in your mind, you will realize that your reading speed has picked up. What happens is when we are reading something aloud, not only that we fall short of breath, we know certain alphabets, we know the words, we know those are, relevant, the words that we've already seen, but still we fumble to read it. And then the pace at which we read, the listener doesn't understand कि उसका meaning क्या हुआ. So anything and everything that you're reading and talking has to be at a particular pace with certain pauses for impact. Okay. So your tongue twisters also are one of the exercises to ensure that you are communicating properly. Even in boardrooms, when you're making the presentation, you know the content properly. You're the subject matter expertise, but something happens inside over there and you're not able to talk at the speed with which it is required to be spoken. And that is why your audience feels, isko to kuch aata nahi hai. Sometimes the dumb character takes away the cake, takes away the promotion only because he speaks properly. And we must have done all the research. We are the subject matter expertise only to realize is that talking properly, being able to convey what I wanted to convey is not something that I can do. But these simple things and a lot of other things that we do during the program help, get into your focus mode, get into speaking correct, not only using the right vocabulary, but being able to convey the intention with the right proportion of emotion. Okay. I think somebody else also had raised a hand and it wants to try the Hindi. Monica, Gunjan, anybody?
Yes, I will try. Which one?
Pallavi Bhabi, you want to try?
I will try, ma'am.
There's someone, I think Jyoti is saying that she's going to try.
Jyoti wants to try? Okay. Anybody who wants to try?
Yeah. Neeli rail, lal rail, neeli rail. Neeli rail, lal rail, neeli rail. Neeli rail, lal rail, neeli rail.
Can you try the achar?
अचार का कचरा कचरे के डिब्बे में अचार का कचरा.
Very good.
अचार का कचरा कचरे के डिब्बे में अचार का कचरा.
So all these tongue twisters also, help you gain focus. You're actually looking at those words and trying to be similar sounding words and all. तो आपका focus भी improve हो रहा है, आपकी speech भी improve हो रही है. Pallavi, you want to try?
May I? Can I?
Sorry?
Can I?
Yeah, sorry, who's that?
Rajesh.
Yes, Rajesh, please. I was just going to say, all the gentlemen in the group are silent.
खड़क सिंह के खड़कने से खड़कती है खिड़कियां, खिड़कियों के खड़कने से खड़कता है खड़क सिंह.
ये वाला मूवी का डायलॉग मेरे हर पार्टिसिपेंट और मेरे हर स्टूडेंट को बहुत बराबर से आता है. But the art is not about saying it correct. The art is how fast can you say it.
Okay, खड़क सिंह के खड़कने से खड़कती है खिड़कियां, खिड़कियों के खड़कने से खड़कता है खड़क सिंह.
Very good. Very good.
अचार का कचरा कचरे के डिब्बे में, कचरे के डिब्बे. Okay, okay.
No, sorry. I moved the screen.
अचार का कचरा कचरे के डिब्बे में, कचरे के डिब्बे में अचार का कचरा.
Very good. Anybody else? Mamta is confused. मैं करूँ नहीं करूँ?
I will do.
Yeah, please.
A proper copper coffee. What is it? I
A
can't.
proper copper coffee pot.
A proper copper coffee pot. A proper copper coffee pot. He threw 3 free throws. He threw 3 free throws. He threw 3 free throws. She sells seashells by the seashore. She sells seashells by the seashore. She sells seashells by the seashore. Red leather, yellow leather. Red leather, yellow leather. Red leather, yellow leather.
Very good. You want to try the Hindi?
Okay.
The last one.
Okay, last one. चार चोर चार चाते में चार आचार चोटे चाट चाट कर चार चाता चोर चुरा कर भागे. I can't speak.
चार चोर चार छाते में चार अचार चाटे चार चाट कर चार छाता चोर चुरा कर भागे.
Okay, 1 second.
That is the speed.
Okay. चार चोर चार चाते में चार आचार चोटे चाट चाट कर चार चाता चोर चुरा कर भागे.
Very nice. Who wants to try with speed?
चार चोर चार छाते में चार अचार चाटे चाट चाट कर चार छाता चोर चुरा कर भागे.
Very good. Very good. Okay. So, yeah, diaphragmatic breathing is very, very important. I would want you all to start with diaphragmatic breathing. Please do that every day. Say, read aloud every day. Practice tongue twisters. Do your lip drills. Do your anulom vilom. Okay. Be mindful of the intentions. Be mindful of the emotions. And then speak. Be in the moment. Have a growth mindset. See from what you have where you can go. Everything that happens to us, everything that happens with us or through us is an opportunity to go to the next level. When you start seeing everything from that perspective, things are better in both personal and professional setups. Okay. Any questions anybody has, I would love to take the questions now.
For singing especially, means performing in
Sorry?
groups, for singing purpose,
Yeah.
which are the top 3 exercises which you recommend?
For singing purpose, I am sure you must be already practicing with some guru or practicing on your own,
No.
Rajesh.
Oh,
Rajesh,
only at
can you
home.
come on camera?
My camera is not
Okay, no problem. Okay. So you practice on your own, Rajesh?
on your own in group, friends group, not a professional, not a guru,
Okay.
or any guru.
So breathing, like I said, is very, very important. Doing your lip trills, okay? Doing your sirens. It's like variation of your pitch
Okay.
from low to high. जैसे आप फटफटी का आवाज आता है, बाइक का आवाज, okay?
Yes.
Doing these kind of exercises, also the one that we did, the O ka sound, the E ka sound. Okay. Now one is creating those sounds. O, O.
Okay.
Creating those sounds in different pitches.
Okay.
Okay. Going from the lowest pitch to the highest pitch, and then again sliding back, not stopping over there, but sliding back from the higher pitch to a lower pitch.
Okay.
Okay. So breathing, all your breathing exercises from your diaphragmatic breathing, anulom, vilom, bhastrika, everything. From your, what do you call, the Om chanting that we do. From these vowels, E, A, O, U ka pronunciation, but also of alphabet, like consonants. If you take the word ta, how many times are you able to do it in 1 minute?
Okay.
Without your breath being hampered.
Okay.
Okay. So first work on your breath, then third, pick up every alphabet and practice that.
Okay.
One at the normal pitch and normal tone, normal volume, and then try to go upscale and then glide down.
Okay.
Okay. do these some of the exercises. But yes, reading aloud and practicing whatever you're singing, practicing every day does
Okay.
definitely make a difference. And
Okay.
again, like speaking, in singing too, singing with emotion. Okay,
Okay.
only what you feel, you'll be able to make the others feel. So
Right.
singing any rag, but with a lot of emotion. Okay, are you with your voice modulation able to bring about that kind of a feeling wherein somebody listening to your music, even if that person does not understand that language,
Okay.
but through your voice modulation is able to feel that music in all his senses.
Okay.
Okay, so practicing every day, doing these exercises. Yeah.
क्या एक लाइन में इमोशन आती है कि नहीं, इसके लिए मेरे सामने माइक है, एक लाइन गाऊं मैं उसके लिए?
I'm sorry, I did not hear you clearly, Rajesh.
Can I sing one line so that you
Sure,
can
sure, Rajesh. We
understand?
would all love to hear.
जिंदगी आ रहा हूँ मैं, लिए सपने निगाहों में, चला हूँ तेरी राहों में, जिंदगी आ रहा हूँ मैं. Just a try.
Very good. Rajesh, very good. Thanks for singing for us this. Can I share something with you, Rajesh?
Definitely, please. That's why I sang.
Yeah. So, Rajesh, I want you to practice diaphragmatic breathing, box breathing for the next 7 days without fail. And the same line today, after the class, you record what you sang. Okay. After 7 days of your breathing practice, record again only these two lines and see the difference.
Box breathing means?
बॉक्स ब्रीदिंग मतलब 4 काउंट के लिए आपको ब्रीद इन करना है, 4 काउंट के लिए आपको ब्रेथ को होल्ड करना है,
अच्छा.
4 काउंट के लिए आपको ब्रीद आउट स्लोली स्लोली करना है, फिर से 4 काउंट के लिए आपको ब्रेथ को होल्ड करना है. So one is box, that's called box breathing. Okay. Diaphragmatic breathing also, you will find how to do diaphragmatic breathing if you do not know on YouTube.
Okay.
Practice diaphragmatic breathing. Practice your Anulom Vilom.
Okay.
Practice your Om chanting. And after 7 days, again re-record yourself. That is one part. What will that solve? Currently, if you realized and if the listeners realized, you were singing, but few words we couldn't hear clearly.
Okay.
Starting of the word or the end of the word, we could understand the alphabets because we know the lyrics. We could make out what you're singing.
Okay.
But because of that breath control, the pitch was going a little higher, जिसकी वजह से आवाज में वो छूट रहा था, वो वर्ड छूट रहा था.
Okay.
Okay. So once you start practicing your breathing, you will be able to modulate your pitch and tone.
Okay.
2. Next time when you're singing this, sing as if you care a damn about who is there, who is watching you, or who is judging you. You understand the meaning of every sentence, and actually as if you're talking to life. It says, Zindagi aa raha hu main. It's telling life that here I come.
Yes.
You mean that completely in all your senses in your being and in your being. Don't care about who's looking at you, who's hearing you, how you're sounding, and then sing. And I'm sure the impact will be much, much, much better.
Definitely. I will repeat what you said. Please see in that whether something is remaining.
Yeah.
You have said diaphragm breathing, box
Yes.
breathing,
Yes.
Anulom Vilom, and
Yeah.
Om exercises.
Yeah, and I also mentioned those lip trills and the vowels and the consonant ka repetitions.
Okay.
Like ta 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 or tha 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 ta pa 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 pa. All this practice, 40 bars in 1 minute is the ideal standard.
Okay. 40 bars in 1 minute.
1 minute.
Okay.
Okay. And for more on this, you can join my class.
Definitely.
Yes. Any other questions?
Can you
had a
tell me more
question.
about? Okay, sorry.
Sorry, there
Can,
are multiple people speaking. So,
can I say?
yeah, Sandhya.
Can you tell more about your class?
If I tell more about the class, okay, so I am into vocal communication and mindset. These are two programs that I run, of the many programs that I am part of. But basically, if somebody wants to get into this class, I get onto a 20 minutes clarity call, which is a free call. I would want to understand what is it that you want to work on. Okay. What is your intention behind joining this class? Do you want to work on improving your vocal communication skills? There are people who join my class because they are into voiceovers, or they are into acting, or they are teachers or coaches, and they want to improve the manner in which they speak. Or many a times people join for this purpose, just to realize, because my course is what do you call, a 360 degrees, a wholesome course. It goes to the inner levels, it goes to your intentions, your emotion level also. So checking on, what is stopping you from being there. You already have voice, like my program tagline says, from what you have to where you want to be. Okay, we all already have a voice, we all already have a personality, we all already have perceptions and emotions about things. That is why we are like, we've come this far in life. इसके आगे कैसे जाना है. So many a times we are not able to fully talk the way we want to talk, because something is stopping us at an emotional level. It's not always that the hardware has a problem and needs a mechanic or an electronic engineer, or it needs to be replaced. Sometimes it is the software that needs to be worked on, and sometimes it's a combination of the software and hardware. So basically, working on the mindset, working on your vocal communication, making sure that you are communicating right, not only with others, but by first understanding that you're communicating right with your own self. And what I'll do is, you can DM me and I will send you my brochure. Okay. And we can also fix up a 20 minutes, clarity call, like I said, the discovery call, which is absolutely free of cost. We can get on a call and understand your requirement, and then I can propose to you what kind of curriculum will work for you.
Hi, Almas. Can you recommend some books? And what is your mobile number for clarity call?
Rajesh, I'm there on the group, but my mobile number, if you want to note it down, is 992088.
1 second.
Yeah.
99
20 88 9132. My Insta handle is at Almas Ajani, at Ajani Almas also. So I have two handles. You can follow me on LinkedIn, on
Will you
Insta.
repeat? Insta?
Yeah,
Insta handle?
992088
Yes.
9132.
Yeah, and your Insta handle?
Ajani Almas, at Ajani Almas.
Ajani Almas.
AJANI Almas, ALMAS.
Okay.
Okay. And you can DM in, whoever is interested or has any questions even after the class. You all can message me on WhatsApp, and I will be happy to answer the questions or share my details with you. And Rajesh, to go back to your question, yes, I do record. I am a professional voiceover artist as well.
Okay.
So currently also I'm recording an audiobook for somebody.
Yeah. And for clarity call, when should we call you, or when should we?
What you can do is drop me a message, and I will share it with you, my Calendly link, or we can just chat up, and I will let you know what time or what day suits.
Yes.
And we can take it forward.
Yes.
Yes. Anybody else? Any other question? Sorry.
Which book you recommend?
Which book? What I? Rajesh, I didn't hear the last part of the sentence.
Which book is famous for this area of expertise?
You mean voiceovers?
No, book, any famous book available?
Rajesh, I would not, I would not say any particular book. when it comes to vocal communication. And like I said, my curriculum, which talks about intentions, emotion, and communication,
Okay.
it is a lot. There's a lot currently available in this space, and there has always been.
Okay.
You can be watching a movie, you can be watching a documentary, and find out something inspirational from there. Okay. Improving your own vocal communication also has to do a lot with how you listen to things. So listen to a lot of podcasts.
Okay.
Want to work on your intentions, work on your emotions. There are a lot of books available. There are a lot of documentaries available. Personally, one book or some specific books. I'm sorry, I'll not be able to give you a list, but we can definitely chat up later, and I can suggest them.
Thank you so much, Almas, for taking the time out. As the questions have already been taken care of by you, Gunjan, would you want to see if there are any questions that have been left unanswered?
I guess every question has been answered, but if anybody else any questions, so they can drop that questions on the group or on this chat, and we will pass this on to.
Right. Thank you so much. So, as a token of our appreciation, Almas, for taking the time out and sharing your expertise with everyone in the group, we would like to share a certificate with you.
Thank you so much. I really enjoyed taking the session.
So, this is a certificate that we would like to forward to
Thank you. Thank you
as
so
an
much.
appreciation. And
Thank
I
you
will
very much.
make sure that you have that. Thank you so much. And I give the floor now, hand over the floor to Harshali for a vote of thanks. Thank you so much.
Can I just take one more minute?
Sure.
If anybody is interested, I would definitely also be happy to share, certain exercises and the kind of vocal communication may voice modulation in different pitch, tone, volumes. If you want to know what kind of pitch, what kind of tone, what kind of volume I need to use to portray a particular emotion, I would love to share a chart. Whoever is interested can please DM me and I'll be happy to share.
Thank you so much. That's so good.
Thanks, Sunita. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. This is a powerful and enriching session, and I'm truly honored to deliver the vote of thanks for the insightful session. First and foremost, my heartfelt gratitude to our exceptional speaker, Almas Ajani. Your words are not just inspiring, it is transformative. You helped us the understanding of true power of voice and breathing exercise. The way you shared your wisdom with such authenticity and warmth, it's truly left a mark all of us. Thank you for empowering us to embrace our voice and step into our strength. A big thank you for our fantastic moderator, C.A. Gunjan Chen, and I would also extend my sincere appreciation to our session coordinator, C.A. Sunita Rathore ma'am. Your calm and engaging presence made everyone feel connected. Thank you for your remarkable contribution. And our session is very smooth and successful because of you, obviously. And in absentia, I am thankful to Kalpana Thakur ma'am. Her belief in power of empowering voice and creating this platform has given us all the confidence to speak up and be heard. Her vision and leadership are truly inspiring. In absentia of Poonam Pathak ma'am, her constant support and dedication have been instrumental in shaping this initiative into a meaningful and empowering space. So thank you everyone for unwavering the commitment. And finally, my heartful thanks to our audience. They raise very much insightful questions, which gives us clarity how the voice breath exercise and Almas ma'am, which specify everything and clearly manner. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody, for giving me this opportunity. Thank you, Sunita, for connecting me to this wonderful group. And Gunjan, Harshali, and all of you beautiful people, Mamta, everybody, for all your love. I really enjoyed taking the session. If there are any questions, I would be happy to take them in my DM. And I would love to stay connected with the team. Thank you. This is a wonderful team and wonderful, initiative, I would say. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much. Have a great day as well as a weekend ahead. Thank you for your presence. And thank you for the audience for making it, sitting through the extended session and sharing your views and learning through the process. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Have a nice weekend.
Have a nice weekend to you too. Thanks, everyone. Bye bye. Take
Bye.
care.
Bye.